guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, we are getting really cute. We are gonna make some candy cane cookies because I love candy canes. It is the holiday season, they're everywhere, and I love these cookies, one, because they're really cute, two, they're really delicious, and three, they're kind of like a basic cutout cookie, but in a candy cane form, and they just look really, really impressive. So you can get your kids in the kitchen to make these, and they can give them out as little gifts amongst their friends. And it's just like the cutest idea ever. And the ingredients you'll need are very few and basic. Now, you'll need some all-purpose flour, a pinch of baking powder and salt, granulated sugar, some unsalted butter that's been softened at room temperature, a couple of eggs. I've got some peppermint extract, I've got some red food coloring, and some vanilla extract. Now, if you just want these to look like candy canes and don't have the peppermint flavor, then just completely skip out the peppermint. They'll still look like candy canes, you'll see. But because I want a little bit of that minty flavor, I'm gonna add some in. So that's why I have a little bit of that on the side, but that's completely optional. It's all up to you. They will be delicious nonetheless because it's like the perfect cookie, the cookie dough recipe. So let's get started. Really easy. I'm gonna make mine in my stand-in mixer fitted with a pedal attachment, and to the bowl I'm going to add my butter. As you can see, it started to melt a little because I have the oven on and I had the butter right on top of the stove. It just gets really soft, really easy that way. But sometimes, most of the time, a little bit of it melts, but it's okay. My sugar, granulated sugar, and I am just going to cream these together until they're combined. Gonna add in my eggs at this point, along with just a drop of vanilla extract, just a little bit, about a teaspoon, and then my peppermint extract. And again, completely leave it out if you don't care for it. And I'm just gonna completely continue to mix these until nice and combined. Perfect. Now make sure you occasionally just, give it a little scraperoo around the sides of the bowl, because we both know weird stuff collects under there. So all I'm going to do is just briefly mix together my salt, flour, and baking powder. Not going to be too finicky about it, and add that straight in to my, I guess, wet mixture, you could call it. Put this back up and mix it until your dough comes together. Okay, now, I'm actually going to take this off because it's just a little bit easier. What I'm going to do is divide this cookie dough in half, because I'm going to take half of it out now. I'm just trying to get all the dough off of my little pedal attachment so that I can get an even amount, but I'm not going to be too finicky about it. Give it a little mix like so. It smells so good, and I love this dough for any time you want to shape a cookie. This is the dough for that. I'm going to just divide this in half. I'm going to set half of it aside here for now. Okay, like so. To this, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back on. And I know it looks like I'm doing a bunch of different things, but that's because you know me, I'm all over the place. Put this back on. Now to this half, you're going to add some red food coloring. You gotta have red stripes, so we gotta do it one way. So we're gonna add some red food coloring. You can add as much or as little as you want. You're getting the red that you want. So I'm gonna grab my little jar here. Make sure, this is a new jar, so I'm gonna make sure the little topper's off. Okay. Just add some in and then let it mix. It's gonna mix for a few minutes, well, maybe just a couple of minutes. And then you just kind of keep adding until you get that desired look that you're going for. I want it to be really nice and red, so I'm just going to let it go for a bit and add my food coloring as it goes. Okay, excellent. Now I already have this, this half formed into a disc and covered or wrapped in plastic wrap, because it's going to go in the fridge for about an hour or so to firm up. I'm just trying to get as much of this dough off of my attachment as possible, but some of it is going to get left behind, but this looks great. This is the red I'm looking for, but if you want it more, by all means, add a bit more. And if a little bit of my spatula got on there, I'm not worried about it. Okay, all I'm doing is just forming it into a disc. This is not blood, by the way. It's red food coloring. It does stain, I will give you that, so be careful. Wrap this up nice and tight. Pop it in the fridge for around an hour or so, and then we'll be ready to shape them. My cookie dough was in the fridge for about an hour or so, and I just took it out a few minutes ago. I have my oven preheated to 375, a baking sheet ready with some parchment paper. I'm only going to do a few. I'm not going to do all of them tonight because these are really great to do with your kids, your brother and your sister, your cousins. Just a great activity. And I want to do these for my brother and my sister for their birthday that's coming up. So they're going to come over in a few days and we're going to make these together. Or I might just pop the dough in the freezer and then just make them on their actual birthday. It depends on how they behave, you see. Now, what I'm going to do, first thing I want to do is just flour my surface. I want a little bit of flour, not too much. Okay. Then what you do is you take about the size, about 2 teaspoons or so of each piece, and you kind of warm it up into your hands like so. You roll each one into about a 6-inch rope. You can see I'm just doing this on a little bit of flour, but the dough is kind of perfect and it's not even sticking, so you don't really need to have a whole lot of flour. So go ahead and make your little ropes. I've got a little red piece rolled out. I've got another little white piece rolled out. You can see I have some here that are already made. They're so easy peasy, you would not believe it. And all you do, once you have them rolled out, you want to make sure they're about the same thickness and the same length. You kind of push them next to each other. You can pinch them at the ends if you want to, or you don't have to. Just kind of stick them together like so, side by side. And then you gently twist. And then you just bend like so. And you place them a few inches apart on your baking sheet. I'm only going to do 8 today and do the rest, like I said, with my siblings. You don't have to do this, but I got a little red sprinkle here, a little red sugar. I like it. So I'm going to just put a little bit on. Not a lot. I just feel like it makes them sparkle. Okay, I'm going to pop these into the oven that I have preheated at 375, and they'll be in there for about 10 minutes or so, or until they're lightly golden, and I'll show you what they look like when they're done. My cookies are in the oven for about 11 minutes and they look beautiful. They smell fantastic. I have let these cool pretty much completely. You'll want to remove them to a wire rack, but they're kind of actually still warm, but they're just, can we just look at the beauty. Look how, first of all, the shape is fantastic. This is why I love this cookie dough, because it holds any shape. I mean, if you want to shape them into whatever your heart desires, it will hold its shape. And it's also really, really delicious. The back is really beautiful, lightly golden brown. They're fantastic. And I'm sure you will do a much cuter job than I did. But let's face it, basically, I'm waiting for my brother and my sister to come so they can make the rest of them, because they'll do a really good job. But you know what? If I don't say so myself, they look pretty cute. I'm gonna go with the first one I did. Oh yes, I just really love this cookie dough, and I hope that you give it a try. The perfect amount of the peppermint, while still having that sugar cookie dough come through, if that makes any sense. That is delicious. And I think you will love it. I know I do. Go to laurainthekitchen.com to get the written recipe. I hope you have enjoyed spending time with me. If you recreate these, please show a picture on my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever your heart desires, because I love seeing your recreations. I love seeing them at all times of the year, but it's especially amazing when I see them around the holidays, because it truly feels like we're spending the holidays together. Because I don't know if in your family it's anything like my family, but all the memories are made in the kitchen. I hope you guys have enjoyed spending time with me. Get the recipe on laurainthekitchen.com, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.